I want to take a second now and pay tribute to Time Magazine's Man of the Year.
And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
What an achievement. Joe Biden is White House bound, where we can expect more of this.
I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a got fired.
Yes, that's dodgy Joe bragging about threatening to withhold a $1 billion loan guarantee during a 2015 trip to the Ukraine to pressure the Ukrainian president and prime minister to sack a prosecutor investigating a little company called Burisma that was incidentally paying his unqualified deadbeat son $1 million a year. Yes, well done, America. That's your next president. Good luck with that. If you want to understand why the overwhelming majority of Republican voters don't believe the 2020 election was free and fair, then just have a look at how the media, backed by big tech, covered the Biden family's Ukrainian and Chinese dealings. Even after the New York Post's explosive story in the weeks before the election, including emails, images and video, all obtained from Hunter Biden's own laptop, the bulk of the media refused to cover a legitimate story because it would damage their preferred candidate. This is Politico before the election. Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinformation. And this is them after the election. Justice Department investigation uncovered more than taxes. Federal prosecutors investigating foreign ties. Here's CNN before the election on the supposedly dubious story, and CNN after the election. Wait, what? There is a federal investigation into Hunter Biden and his business dealings with China, including money laundering allegations, and it's been underway since 2018? And don't think for a second that this was just limited to Politico and CNN. MSNBC, ABC, Washington Post, New York Times and every other media outlet that acts like the Democrats' propaganda arm ignored the story, or worse, called it Russian disinformation.
Manager Kate Bedingfield just a short while ago said that if the president does bring up some of these attacks against Hunter Biden, that this is essentially amplifying Russian disinformation.
Let's just be clear. If the president decides to amplify these latest smears about the vice president and his surviving son, that is Russian misinformation.
Here's National Public Radio's editor explaining their non-coverage of the story. We don't want to waste our time on stories that are not really stories, and we don't want to waste the listeners' and our readers' time on stories that are just pure distractions. The so-called respectable media really worked overtime to slander an important, verifiable story as fake, though no one from the Biden camp, by the way, ever disputed the fact that the laptop belonged to Hunter Biden and the emails and images were real. They didn't need to. The media did that for them, together with former intelligence officials.
To hear the story of this laptop, we don't know a lot. We do know that the way that this information is getting out is through Steve Bannon and Rudy Giuliani. How much does the source matter here?
Well, source matters a lot, and the timing matters a lot, I think. And to me, this is just classic textbook Soviet-Russian tradecraft at work.
Let's hear from 60 Minutes.
Can I say something? You know, this is 60 Minutes, and we can't put on things we can't verify.
You won't put it on because it's bad for Biden.
We can't put on things we can't verify.
And here is CNN anchor Christiane Amanpour.
As you know perfectly well, okay? As you know perfectly well, I'm a journalist and a reporter, and I follow the facts. And there has never been any issues in terms of corruption. Now, let me ask you this. Yesterday, the FBI... FBI...
How do you know that?
I'm talking about reporting and any evidence. I'm talking to you now.
Okay, I would love if you guys would start doing that digging and start doing that verification.
No, we're not going to do your work for you.
I would have thought uncovering the truth was her job, but she does work at CNN. By the way, she recently compared the Trump administration to Nazis, so we know what we're dealing with there. The media were willing to do anything to get their man over the line, and Joe Biden was happy to repeat the fake news the media created for him during the debates.
It's not made money in terms of this thing about, what are you talking about, China. I have not had, the only guy made money from China is this guy. He's the only one. Look, there are 50 former national intelligence folks who said that what he's accusing me of is a Russian plant. They have said that this has all the five former heads of the CIA, both parties, say what he's saying is a bunch of garbage. Nobody believes it except his and his good friend Rita Panahi.
Lie after lie after lie after lie, and all backed, endorsed and fact-checked by the activist media. Big tech, particularly Twitter and Facebook, also played their part by either banning or suppressing the story. They even suspended New York Post's official Twitter account. Not only did they disappear a hugely significant news story and lie about the reasons why, but they then promoted as their top story a verifiable lie, claiming then Vice President Biden played no role in pressuring Ukraine officials into firing the prosecutor, despite the fact that there is a 2018 video of Biden confirming he did just that. He bragged about it. The media were willing to go to extraordinary lengths to get their man, the big guy, Mr. 10%, over the line. What we saw during the election campaign was the entire big tech and journalistic establishment do everything they could to suppress and discredit serious allegations of corruption within the Biden family and claim that anybody who believed the evidence was just doing the work of the Russians. Well, this week, the New York Post was vindicated as the Biden transition team issued a statement saying the IRS was looking into Hunter's tax affairs. But of course, it goes a lot deeper than that. And now that the election is done and dusted, the media is happy to report aspects of the story. Even CNN is reporting on the multiple investigations into Hunter Biden, including ones that involve foreign influence, money laundering, and you guessed it, China. The entire sorry episode is not isolated. It wasn't just this story or the Russian collusion hoax or spying on Trump's campaign. For 4 years, we saw any story damaging to Trump elevated, no matter how flimsy, anonymously sourced, or just plainly false. At the same time, real stories that were damaging to his political opponents were buried. As the Washington Post is fond of saying, democracy dies in darkness.